that is our vocabulary review of weather and seasons. Ese es nuestro repaso de vocabulario, asunto de clima y estaciones. Now let's continue. This will be our warm-up for our current class, lesson 13 of daily routines and simple present. Before we get into the warm-up, I just want to share with you, you will find the warm-up available on Teachers Pay Teachers. So let me just give you an idea what that looks like. It will be the same as you see in the presentation. You can see the screen. You'll have in the form of a printout or worksheet. Students will put their first and last names, and then the date that they're completing the warm-up, JuanCarlosESL, Newcomers, lesson 13, daily routines and simple present. And then you see warm-up, and then warm-up directions, fill in the blank, complete the following sentences. You can see the image of a clock for visual support that already tells students an idea what the warm-up will be about. And you see 4 sentences with fill in the blank method. So students will be using context clues to fill in the missing space. Entonces los estudiantes van a estar utilizando las claves de contexto de cada oración para llenar los espacios vacíos en este calentamiento. Okay, so that is our warm-up. Let me go back to the presentation now. In the presentation, we'll continue. All right, so this is the warm-up. So before I go over the responses, I invite you to pause the video and give students ample time to complete the warm-up independently. So, antes de iniciar el calentamiento, los invito a que pongan pausa a este video para que le demos tiempo a los estudiantes y que llenen el espacio vacío. Acordémonos que los estudiantes deben utilizar las claves de contexto para identificar la respuesta correcta. All right, you can go ahead and pause the video. Pueden ponerle pausa al video. All right, so I expect as you're continuing this video, you have already completed this warm-up. Espero que ya han completado el calentamiento a este punto. So we're going to go ahead and proceed. Vamos a continuar. So number 1, you see I'd blank up at 6 o'clock. So remember, I always share this with students and teachers to call on 4 random students, teachers, call on 4 random students and have them engage and have them go over the responses with the class. Also, if they can share their responses with a partner before going over the answers with the entire class. Acordémonos, maestros, que le pueden dar oportunidades a los estudiantes que antes de repasar las respuestas, que comparten su respuesta con compañeros de clase, o los maestros pueden llamar a 4 diferentes estudiantes para que participen y comparten sus respuestas. So number 1, so for this video, I'll just go over the answers, but in your classrooms, use effective methods for students to learn. So number 1, I blank up at 6 o'clock. It says, I wake up at 6 o'clock. Yo me despierto a las 6 o a las 6 de la mañana. Entonces, estamos hablando de rutinas diarias. We are talking about daily routines. And obviously, the first task of the day is to wake up. El primer deber del día, despertarnos. Okay, so I wake up at 6 o'clock. Number 2, I brush my teeth every morning. I brush my teeth every morning. Yo cepillo mis dientes cada mañana. Entonces, yo cepillo mis dientes cada mañana. I brush my teeth every morning. So again, these are daily routines that we're talking about. Number 3, I blank to school at 8 o'clock. I blank to school at 8 o'clock. I go to school at 8 o'clock. Yo voy a la escuela a las 8. Entonces, Yo voy a la escuela a las 8. I go to school at 8 o'clock. Se refiere a las 8 de la mañana o las 8 de la tarde, depende, no todos en el mismo horario. Usualmente los estudiantes de la secundaria o la primaria es en la mañana, las 8 de la mañana que comienza. All right, so that's number 3. I go to school at 8 o'clock. Number 4, I blank my homework after school. I do my homework after school. Yo hago mi tarea después de la escuela. I do my homework after school. Yo hago mi tarea después de la escuela. So what did these 4 responses have in common? ¿Qué tenía en común estas 4 respuestas? So what they had in common is all 4 responses are what we call action verbs in simple present tense. Entonces son palabras de acción o verbos de acciones en sentido presente. En el presente simple están estos verbos de acción indicando un deber del día. So these action verbs are indicating a particular chore or duty of the day or routine of the day, a simple task of the day, if you will, and they're all in simple present tense. Okay, so that's what these 4 responses have in common. So we're talking about daily routines and we're talking about the simple present. Okay, so that is our warm-up for this lesson. Also, once again, I'm going to share with you, teachers, you could share the warm-up, you could distribute to the students, you could print the handout and distribute it to students, or if you prefer the warm-up to be computer-based, you could use a PDF you'll find on Teachers Pay Teachers and have it available in computer-based format for students to complete. Entonces, los estudiantes tienen 2 opciones para completar el calentamiento. Puede ser en papel, pueden llenarlo en una hoja de papel, o también lo puede completar por medio de una computadora. Dar respuestas digitales. So, other way, the important thing is that students learn. So that is our warm-up for lesson 13. Bueno, ese es nuestro calentamiento para lección número 13. Now let's continue. So now that we completed our warm-up, let's move on to the second segment of the lesson, which is the vocabulary daily routines. So earlier we did the vocabulary review. Now then we did the warm-up. Now we're going to follow up with the daily routines vocabulary. So these are 30 new words. Estas son 30 nuevas palabras. Vamos a estar hablando de diarios, de las rutinas diarias. Y igual como vimos en el repaso de vocabulario, a la derecha va a estar la traducción en español. Y aquí a la izquierda de la tabla está en inglés, con apoyo visual de imágenes, fotos que corresponde a la palabra de vocabulario. So you'll see that on this T-chart, on the right-hand side will be the Spanish translation. Then on the left-hand side are the vocabulary words relating to daily routines. And then to the left of the word will be visual support, images and photos corresponding to the vocabulary word of daily routines. So the vocabulary words will read 2 times, and then we'll take into account the Spanish translation 1 time. So vamos a leer la palabra vocabulario 2 veces y la traducción en español 1 sola vez. So let's begin. Comencemos. Wake up. Wake up. Despertarse. Talk. Talk. Hablar. Brush. Brush. Cepillarse. Teeth. Teeth. Dientes. Wash. Wash. Lavar. Face. Face. Cara. Shower. Shower. Bañarse. Get dressed. Get dressed. Vestirse. Breakfast. Breakfast. Desayuno. Eat. Eat. Comer. Drink. Drink. Beber. School. School. Escuela. Go. Go. Ir. Class. Class. Clase. Study. Study. Estudiar. Read. Read. Leer. Write. Write. Escribir. Lunch. Lunch. Almuerzo. Dinner. Dinner. Cena o merienda. En algunos países se puede decir merienda, otros países cena. Dinner. Homework. Homework. Tarea. Play. Play. Jugar. Work. Work. Trabajar. Exercise. Exercise. Ejercicio. Clean. Clean. Limpiar. Help. Help. Ayudar. Pull. Pull. Jalar. Sleep. Sleep. Dormir. Push. Push. Empujar. Drive. Drive. Manejar. Walk. Walk. Caminar. So let's go ahead and review. Let's go over the 30 new words once more. Vamos a repasar las 30 nuevas palabras una vez más. Let's read each word 2 times each. Wake up. Wake up. Talk. Talk. Brush. Brush. Teeth. Teeth. Wash. Wash. Face. Face. Shower. Shower. Get dressed. Get dressed. Breakfast. Breakfast. Eat. Eat. Drink. Drink. School. School. Go. Go. Class. Class. Study. Study. Read. Read. Write. Write. Lunch. Lunch. Dinner. Dinner. Homework. Homework. play, play, work, work, exercise, exercise, clean, clean, help, help, pool, pool, sleep, sleep, push, push, drive, drive, walk, walk. All right, so those are our 30 vocabulary words of daily routines. Now, before we continue, I would like to share with you the handout, the vocabulary drill exercise. Antes de continuar, vamos a repasar el ejercicio de vocabulario. So just give me a moment while I set that up for you. And then you should see my screen. So this is the vocabulary segment. So after completing the 30 new words as a class, then students will be reading the same 30 words independently. Después que los estudiantes lo repasen en la clase, también los estudiantes van a tener deber de repasar las 30 mismas palabras independientemente. So this is the vocabulary handout. So you see the name and date. Students will put the first and last name. Remember, always put a capital letter at the beginning of your first name and a capital letter at the beginning of your last name. Siempre inicien su primer nombre con una letra mayúscula, también su apellido comenzando con una letra mayúscula igual. Then you put the date that you're completing the exercise, students. También ponen la fecha en el día que están completando este ejercicio. So JuanCarlosESL, Newcomers, Lesson 13, Daily Routines and Simple Present. So vocabulary. So this will be part A. This is a two-part exercise. So part A, read aloud every vocabulary word 3 times each. Lea 3 veces en voz alta cada palabra de vocabulario. Aquí están las instrucciones en inglés y en español. So students will be reading these words 3 times each in English. You're more than welcome to read in Spanish as well, but the Spanish translation is there as a guide to help students comprehend the word in English. Aquí tenemos la traducción en español también, pero es para que lo utilicen como un apoyo para entender la palabra en inglés. También tenemos imágenes, casi como una presentación, apoyo visual para que entiendan qué la palabra significa. We also have visual support to help students comprehend what the word in English is. So same words, las mismas 30 palabras que hemos repasado ahorita en la presentación, lo está viendo ahorita enfrente de ustedes en una hoja de deber. So the same 30 words relating to daily routines. So read each word 3 times each. So there are 30 words. Students will end up reading 90 words in total. Como hay 30 palabras y van a leer cada palabra 3 veces, terminan leyendo en voz alta 90 palabras. All right, so that's part A. When you get to part B, so vocabulary, part B, write every vocabulary word 10 times each. Escriba cada palabra de vocabulario 10 veces. So again, you have the English vocabulary word, and then you have the translation, despertarse. And right next to it, students will write each word 10 times. So wake up, students will write the word wake up, or the phrase wake up 10 times. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And then another 5 more times. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. So total 10 times. And you're welcome to write it in Spanish as well. También lo pueden escribir en español igual para que le ayude a recordar qué significa la palabra en inglés. También es un buen ejercicio de hacer ambos. Escríbalo 10 veces en inglés y después escríbalo 10 veces en español. So students are more than welcome to write it in Spanish as well. You'll write the vocabulary word in English 10 times, and then the vocabulary word in Spanish 10 times. It's a good method to help students comprehend, understand. And then you do that for all 30 words. Y van a hacer eso para las 30 palabras de vocabulario. So again, you end up writing, so 10 times 30, so you end up writing 300 words. So ahí terminan escribiendo 300 palabras. Se escriben cada palabra vocabulario 10 veces. So it ends up being 300 words, but it's a good exercise, a good method to comprehend and remember the new vocabulary words in English. Es una buena manera de estudiar y comprender y acordarse de las nuevas palabras de inglés. Asuntos de diario, las rutinas diarias. Okay, so that is our vocabulary exercise. Part A, read each word 3 times out loud. And then when you get to part B, write the vocabulary word 10 times each. All 30 vocabulary words you will write 10 times each. Cada palabra vocabulario van a estarle escribiendo 10 veces cada una. So write every vocabulary word 10 times each. Okay, so there is a total of 9 pages in this vocabulary exercise. So again, teachers could print it and distribute it to students. I strongly recommend it be in paper base. Yo recomiendo que lo hagan en papel, comparando a hacerlo digital. Instead of doing a computer, students will be typing, but I strongly recommend it be printed out for students to handwrite it. So if they handwrite it, the exercise will be more effective for students to recall and remember and develop their English language skills. And that is our vocabulary for JuanCarlosESL, Newcomers, Lesson 13, Daily Routines in Simple Present vocabulary. All right, now let's continue with the lesson presentation. So let's continue now, moving on to the guided practice.